Welcome back. Marcus Walsh had a chance to catch up with May River's athletic director, Brett Macy, during halftime of Friday night's game. Here is that conversation.
Marcus Walsh here at the Shark Tank, home of the May River Sharks, with athletic director of May River, Brett Macy. Brett, how are you tonight?
Good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks for being here and spending a couple of minutes with us. I want to talk about how things are going, obviously, in this new era, if you will, of COVID. How were things going with the practices and everything in the off season, making sure that everybody was able to get in touch with their coaches, the trainers, and keep a pretty rigid schedule despite not meeting every day?
Well, obviously, everyone's becoming pretty familiar with Zoom, so a lot of coaches had a lot of Zoom meetings with their players and teams. I had a lot of Zoom meetings with our coaches to try to keep them up to speed of where the state was at, but then also where Beaufort County was at. We got a really late start on the coast. Beaufort County all the way up to Charleston and Myrtle Beach seemed to be behind the rest of the state just due to all the people coming from Ohio and Pennsylvania, and our numbers were pretty high, and so we were kind of behind the rest of the state as far as when we could start.
Just how have the guys been able to practice and go through their training regimen with that new system in place? Zooming, or are they kind of getting together in small groups? How did that go about?
Obviously, they couldn't get together under any coach's supervision. Some of them did find gyms to work out once they opened up. Some of them worked out in their house. If you guys watched us enough now over the course of 5 years, you know that weight conditioning and pushing people around is pretty important. So I know a lot of the coaches were stressed out about that, football-wise, and same with cross-country, and a lot of our fall sports were just so far behind that weight training and that conditioning that a lot of people were worried about really kids' injuries and heat exhaustion when we did come back, because they weren't doing anything all the way through spring and summer, getting used to the heat and doing all those things that they normally would do.
Things are starting to get back on track now that the season's underway and practices are getting going?
Yep, obviously everything's going. We take temperatures every day. We ask questions regarding, some certain symptoms if they have them. We try to, stay on top of it the best we can. Everyone's wearing masks, whether they be, in the locker room or in film. They're not in masks at practice, but, we've done our best to do that. We followed all of our guidelines. We're happy to be back. We hope to stay back and hope our kids make good decisions and everything, works out for the best.
Lastly, in case you have to postpone a game, what do you think will happen as far as the recommendations of when to resume a season or when to resume a game? Obviously, we don't want that happening, but there's a chance it might.
Certainly. So we have the last 2 weeks of the season. We have Orangeburg in week 6, and then it's open in week 7. If a region game were to get scheduled, then it would be pushed into those weeks. Region would have to play first. Hopefully, we get all our region games in. If not, then we have to look at tiebreaker scenarios, go into week 7, and do the best we can as a region.
I gotcha. Brett, thanks so much for a few minutes with us tonight, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
For WHHI Sports TV, I'm Marcus Walsh. Let's send it on back to Betsy McDaniel and the Bluffton News.
Thank you to all of my contributors and guests for the great information today. Gustavo Ratia, Jeremy Pope, Latia Nelson, and Wayne Morris are behind the scenes to make all of this possible. And of course, we are honored that you have chosen to share a part of your day with us. We wish you all the best until we meet again for the next Bluffton News.